Hello everyone. Today is the 8th of December 2022. The time is 5:19 p.m. So I made a video earlier today, or this morning really, and I was at my house today, and I want to talk about what happened today. Um, I was in the kitchen because I have a lot of crystal. I love crystal, and I have crystal cake plates and bowls and stuff like that. I'm not talking about the crystals like little rock thing. I'm talking about dishes. And so I was cleaning up my crystal cake plates because I have them on top of the shelves. I had a type of shelves in the kitchen that you can set stuff on top of. So I have like silk flowers and greenery rather, and my crystal cake plates. I got them up high so they wouldn't get broken. So I was washing them up, and once I got to a certain point in the kitchen, I came under uptight. I started getting uptight in my heart. I could feel some pressure coming against my heart, and I started bouncing like I do here when this stuff is coming out from under the ground. I start bouncing real hard and loud. So I knew I was under attack, but it wasn't until I clammed up in the chair at the end of the cabinets and close by the kitchen stove, and that's when there's something up in that ceiling, because every time I would go over in that area I would feel something hit me in my head, and I also saw a peep, like a peephole up in the ceiling that wasn't there. And like I said before, when I first moved there 7 years ago, there was a young couple that moved beside me, and he started gang stalking me, bully, torturing, or whatever you want to call it, putting stuff on my porch. And he first put trash, I mean some sour, rotten, pure rotten trash on my porch. And I had a friend that I knew ever since we were children. And we went to school together, and he was living up this way. So when I need to go home, I could call him. He'd bring me home, and then he'll come out and pick me up and take me back to my sister's house, because my granddaughter and daughter would watch her while I would come home and spend some time to myself. And so when I would come home, the guy would do stuff. You know, the first time he just put trash on the porch. And so the guy from my hometown, he said, "Why you put that trash out there on your porch?" I said, "What trash? I ain't put no trash on the porch." He said, "There's some trash out there on your porch." So I walked out there, and it was just slimy, something that just had rotted. So I called the cops, and the cop looked over at the apartment. He knew who had did it, because I could tell he had his third eye open. And he said, "Well, just put it in the trash." I said, "I'm not putting my hands on that." So he picked it up and put it in the trash. I wasn't going to touch it. And I put Clorox. I put ammonia. Nothing would take that smell away. It had to wear away. Then the next time I came home, he put this big lizard. I mean, it was huge. And that was before I had got my camels put on the porch. I didn't have camels at that time. And he put I mean, it was I thought it was a snake when I first saw it, and I realized it was a lizard. So I threw some more ammonia out there. With ammonia, I put a mothball. Might have been mothballs. and he just started sniffing it. So I said, well, that ain't gonna work. I threw some ammonia out there, and that didn't work either. So I ain't gonna say what I threw out there to get him to run off that porch. But he finally left the porch. And then the next time I came home, it was a different lizard. And I knew those wasn't just lizards that's out, lizards just be out there in the wild. These were pets. And I did the same thing with that one. Then it started being like little lizards they probably caught out there somewhere. And so then him and his friends started climbing up in the ceiling. They was crawling around in the ceiling all the way around my whole entire apartment. And so I let the landlord know. She said she didn't even know you can go from one side to the other side. But that's what they were doing. Every time I go home, and see, I had put latches on the crawl space because the crawl space was in my closet where you can go up in the ceiling. And I had came home one day and it looked like somebody had been sitting on my bed. Like there was a butt print on my cover. So I had brought some latches, and I had this guy to put the latches on my crawl space so they couldn't come down. And so when I would be home, I could hear him trying to pry it open. And he know I'm home now. He trying to pry the crawl space open. And so when the guy was putting the latches on the crawl space, I could hear him at the wall saying, he was gonna pay somebody to rough me up. And so he got this guy to come over, and I could see them outside. So I went outside to my mailbox, let them know, y'all, I'm not afraid of y'all. And I guess that's when they wanted to start shooting at me. And I could hit the guy said, well, I'm not gonna mess with her right now. And the girl said, yeah, right now. I said it out loud. I wasn't worried about them messing with me. So that's when I got my no, I didn't get the cameras until I moved my sister the second time. Cause the guy was at her house cutting symbols in her, everywhere there was cement, he had symbols. So I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if it, what it stood for. And after we moved, I started looking up, what symbols. And so they symbols in witchcraft, they symbols in alchemy and theosophy, probably Kabbalah too. Those same symbols is in all of it. What it stands for, I don't know. I just saw it. I didn't really try to get into studying and all that type of stuff. I just saw that those symbols have meaning within this mystic stuff. But he had it everywhere. So I just took pictures, and I didn't have a security camera. But one night, I was in the garage reading the Bible, and you see, I like reading out loud so that I can hear myself reading. And I could hear him out there cutting symbols. As I stopped reading, I lift up the garage door, but I didn't go all the way out. I just opened the door and looked, I didn't see nobody, so I put the door back down. I started back reading, and I could hear cutting again. He had an electrical saw, but he wasn't using the electricity with it. He was just cutting. And so this time, I went out through the front door, but I had to get a key because we had to change the locks on the door because my sister would leave out the house, call herself going home. And so we had to lock the door from the inside and had to have a key for us to get out. We had to have a key. And so I had got the key and opened the door. By that time, they had already ran and hid. So I said, well, I'm not going back in the house. I got my daughter's car, and I sat out there and I prayed. I just started praying, and I prayed maybe an hour or so, sitting out in the car. So I guess they saw I wasn't going back in the house, so they got up from where they were hiding, which was behind his truck. And when he walked in front of his truck, he looked right at me, and I was looking at him, and he had a girl with him. So when I got ready to move, um, I asked the person we paid rent to, who did she get to clean the carpet, because my carpet cleaner was messing up. So she gave me this woman's name, and so I called the lady, and she charged me. I can't remember how much it was she charged me. So I told her, okay, and she came in to clean the carpet. I just got real sick when I opened it. I don't know, she must have did something to me, because I wasn't sick. But I got so sick till I had to actually lay on the floor. And when she saw, when I opened the door, she got this strange look on her face. She said, I'll be right back. And I just got real sick. And she came back, and she started cleaning the carpet. And I told her I was trying to clean the wall. So you know how you hear the chairs push up against the wall, and the color or the material colored the wall. So I was trying to clean that off. And so she told me she would clean it, because I just was so sick. And she said she would do it. So I went out in the garage, and I left the door open, and because I was just hot. And then I saw her come outside, and she was doing like that there. And I said, who she telling to come here? And then I reckon the person wouldn't come. She went to where they was. Before that happened, the guy that was helping me, he said, what that man doing in there? And I said, what man? He said, there's a man in there, sound like they in there fussing. So I went to see who the man was, but see, I had never seen him close up. And I didn't know who he was, but he was getting water out of my daughter's room, off of her floor, because she was cleaning the carpet in my daughter's room. So he had like a vial getting water off of her floor. So I felt like he was getting ready to do some witchcraft on her. But I was so sick, and I couldn't really deal with him. So I went back outside, because I didn't know who he was. And till I saw her do like that. And so he didn't come, so she went to where he was. And so I walked outside to see where she was going, and she was going to the guy house that I knew was cutting the cutting in the cement. I knew it was him, because he had his setup right in his front yard, and he would always be out there cutting stuff, just like the man behind us in the second house. We knew the Smith man that lived in the brown house. The exact same thing. And this man here is the exact same thing over there with that white van. That same demon is following us. And I realized she the one that's helping him cut the symbols. And so we moved that same night. But anyway, the people that was messing with us at that house followed us to the next house. And I could see them passing by for a whole week. They passed by the house, because I recognized their cars. Because there was a man across the street. He was the main one that was bothering us. And there was an older man that I think he was the one teaching them how to do the hand thing, when because he did his hand like that, and something flew by me and hit my daughter's car. Every time they would hit one of my daughter's cars, their car stopped working. They had to buy a new car. And the sheriff that came, the third time I called the police on the dude, there was a sheriff that came, And his cousin stayed, let me see, about 3 or 4 houses down from us. So he told me where his cousin stayed at. So he would let me know he knew these people. And he started attacking me with something that I couldn't see. Whatever it was like a bunch of bugs or something, like them things that be flying out there at nighttime. And it was just hitting me in my body. And I was saying to myself, is he attacking me? The first call that I called and the third call that I called attacked me. The second call was a lady. She didn't attack me. But the men did. The woman didn't. But the 2 men did. And they broke in the house and stole the paper. They had that, the first call that attacked me, they stole his paperwork, my insurance policy, and what else did they steal? Oh, my rental agreement. Why would they steal my rental agreement? I don't know. Why they would steal? Well, they probably try to cash in with my insurance policy, but I done got my another insurance policy, so they can try to get their name not on it, and my daughters are the one who can cash in on my insurance policies, not nobody else. They have to prove who they are. And they stole my insurance policy. That first call, cause the sheriff didn't give me a paper, not the woman. She didn't give me a paper, just the first call. So they stole that paper with his name on it, my rental agreement, and my insurance policy. Cause I was at my house, and when I came, I had to come back to get something that my daughter had left. And when I opened the door to the garage, somebody was up in the ceiling, because the door up in the ceiling at my sister's house, not my house. My sister's house, we didn't have no locks on the doors, on the crawl space. It slammed down. And I had a motion sensitive lights inside the garage. It was already on. But the thing is, I had a camera down there too. It didn't even video them, so they knew how to put that code in there. And in order for them to put a code in, to know about the code, they had to get that from the security people. Arlo had to tell them a security code and to make my cameras not video them, because it videoed me down there. Now when I went down there, it videoed me, but it didn't video them, whoever that was down there. But they came in the house and stole my paperwork, and they knew exactly where I had that. So this is how close these people watches you, where they know where your personal stuff is at. Where you got your personal stuff, they know where it's at. That's how close they watching. And in order for them to watch you like that, they got to be something inside these walls, which there was something in the ceiling. When we first moved in there, I could hear something rolling, following me around the house. It was on wheels, but evidently it must have stopped working because I stopped hearing it. Then I started hearing boots hitting the ceiling. They was up there crawling around in the ceiling. And everybody kept trying to tell me that I know what I hear. I'm tired of people trying to tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm talking about everybody, because I hear TIs do the same thing too. Try to tell me what I'm experiencing. And I know what I'm experiencing. I can't tell nobody else what they're experiencing. I know what I'm experiencing. And then they telling me I'm not hearing nobody up in the ceiling. I'm telling them I am hearing somebody crawling around. And they trying to tell me it could be an animal. Animals don't wear boots. They had on shoes or boots or something, because I kept hearing it hitting the ceiling. I could tell a difference in an animal and a heavy behind person. Same thing at my apartment. But they won't just crawling around. I could hear them talking. Animals don't speak English. And then when I hear them crawling around up there in the cedar at my house, I start praying and I start worshiping. Every single time I start worshiping the Lord, they say, "Oh, we ain't getting ready to bother her while she worshiping." And they come out of there. Now the dude didn't have no more sense. He probably would have stayed up there, but his friends don't playing around with the Lord. Cause I just start worshiping, and every time it worked. Grown men now, he grown men, or let the devil just make a fool out of them. And I don't know if they were really getting paid or not because they would be late on their rent. Cause the landlord told me that they be late on their rent. So I do know that they would give him dope, cause I would see them. Cause I was standing at the door, looking out, not looking to be nosy or to see them doing something wrong. I just get tired of sitting up in that house, and I would go walk to the door, just look outside. You know, these people come up in BMW, Mercedes, and passing out dope for him to harass me. And one day I went outside. He was sitting outside, and so I walked to the mailbox and come back, and he was out there laughing and acting crazy. I said, "Is that dude crazy?" You know, I mean, he just acting real crazy. He had done hit something, and he had him out there laughing and acting real crazy. And these are the kind of people that they will have crawling around in my ceiling. So today I was, I just happened to look up, and I could see a tiny hole up there in that ceiling. You know, and something is in the kitchen that was attacking my head and attacking my heart. But the whole neighborhood over there are gang stalkers. Everywhere we moved, they turned the whole entire neighborhood into gang stalkers. Because all these people, I think was the last time I went home, uh, this lady, she was one of those dog catchers, and she started going to different people's houses, letting them know I was home. And then when I got ready to video her, she just drove off. I said, "Wow!" They let her know that because I was getting ready to video her behind. So I don't even know, I ain't even gonna say what I was getting ready to say. I ain't gonna say it. But these people are breaking your house. I mean, there's nothing that they won't do. There really is nothing that they won't do. And so they was burning me like crazy at my house. I mean, I was just burning. And I burn worse over there than I do here. Because I think the floor is closer to the ground over there than over here. I guess I don't know. All I know, they was really burning me real bad. And when my daughter came to pick me up, she had some food with her that she had been eating off of. She said she was full, so I was eating some of it, and I just got sick as a dog. I got so sick, and I got hot. I had on a leather jacket, and I had to unzip my leather jacket. I want to take this hat off my head because I had this hat on all day, and I just got so hot. So when I came in the house, the stuff that's on in this house is still burning me. So I got in a little chair, and I took my shoes off because my feet, those shoes was just burning my feet. And even in her car. So I'm thinking this stuff is in the cars. I don't know if they know this stuff is on their cars or not. But my feet was burning in the car too. And I got home, I was still burning. So I took those shoes off my feet, and I just put my foot up in the little recliner, and I went to sleep. And I slept for some hours. I slept for some hours. I was just sick. So I'm just wondering, when she ordered that food, whoever made that food for her, were they trying to make her sick? Were they doing something to her? Because I didn't get sick to the stomach like that until I ate that food. But I didn't eat that much because my stomach messed up from these attacks. When they attacked me this morning, I mean, they severely attacked me this morning. Severely attacked me this morning. And that guy that came over yesterday to check the water, because they saying the water bill was almost $200. A water bill shouldn't be no $200. So I don't know if they're telling lies just to get in here to do something so they can attack, because they said the same thing at the second house we moved in. The house we moved from, they did the same thing. So I'm just thinking that they lying, because I do know that the lawyer, my sister lawyer, and those people that work in his office are gang stalkers. I know that for a fact because they done attacked me. They done gang stalked me 3 times, had me going out there just for them to attack, gang stalk me. So I told my sister I won't go out there no more, because the last time I went out there, that breeze, like a breeze, some kind of breeze that feel like it's just cutting you. And that's what they were doing to me the whole time I was there. Because I told them I want them to pay me, but he won't pay me. Talking about, I don't know about that, because when you was in Lumberton, you had your own place. I got my own place now that I would like to enjoy, but I have to be with my sister. And that's what I told him. I said I moved up here, and my sister said she moved up here. He never did pay me, and that's been some years ago that I asked him to pay me, because and the only reason I asked him to pay me because my sister started cussing me. For 4 years, I was called the B word, and she done started back calling me the B word. Called me a black bee the other day. I mean, they changing her butt, and she calling me a black bee, and started fighting me, punching me in my face and kicking me. And so I told them I didn't come up here to be abused, and I want to get paid, but they ain't paid me yet. So it's just a, you know, I just want to talk about what happened to me. And I be wanting to talk about it. So if I do die, because people is dying from this gang stalking, they want us to commit suicide, but since we won't commit suicide, they go ahead and make us sick enough to kill us. And even famous people that's being gang stalked has died. What's that guy named? Uh, Lord have mercy. I used to dance off of his music. He wore the big nose and stuff. He died from being gang stalked, and they try to say that he died from an overdose, and that's a lie straight out of hell. I mean, the man had his own house, apartment, or whatever it is. Why he got to be found in a motel? Everybody that commits suicide, they got to go to they live by the sand, so why they got to go to a motel? Just like that preacher. They told that lie on him. They killed him and make it look like an overdose. But he was getting ready to testify against some of these famous preachers that are Masons, Masonic order, demons. He was getting ready to testify against David Hine, and now he dead in a motel where they saying he committed OD. Lie, straight up lie. Either they'll make it look like you did an OD, or you get in a car wreck. That's how they kill you. I don't do no drugs. I don't drink no alcohol. I'm not getting ready to commit suicide. They gonna. I'm not sick. Only thing that's wrong with me is the attacks on my body that they doing. Look at the energy on the walls. I'm submerged in energy. So if I die, I was murdered by these people, the neighborhoods, and whoever got this energy up on it, the PWC, Spectrum, because these are the people that's dealing with this electrical stuff that's connected to the Wi-Fi, the underground electrical system, because they got this house hooked up to it. I'm not getting ready to commit suicide. I'm not trying to go to hell. So I'm just letting it be known that I'm not getting ready to do anything to do harm to myself. And that's that. So I'm just gonna be through and let it, whatever happens, but it won't be by me. I just want to close out and try to be a good person. That's the only thing I could do. Try to be as good as I can.